Walk the talk. Leadership actions that speak louder than words. If you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks, that just simply means Ed. I have an 8 point framework. In those 8 points, I plan and I will unpack today's title, which is entitled Unlock Your Leadership Potential, Mastering the Art of Influencing Others. Again, unlocking, or I should say, unlock your leadership potential, mastering the art of influencing others. You know, family, one of the biggest things that we have to understand and we have to know about this title and what we're going to talk to here today about is leadership. You know, the first time I learned about leadership was really weird and strange because I thought leadership and management were the same thing. You see, when I thought about management, I thought about leadership. Until one day I had a leader that imposed upon me. No, he didn't impose. He reflected on how to be an amazing and exceptional leader, not just by words, but by actions. And today I hope and I plan to, if everything goes well, and I do believe everything is going to go well, to be able to exhibit what he shared with me during my journey under his tenure for the time I was working with them. Exceptional leader. He led with cause, he led with emotion, he led with a stern understanding that he's not going to ask something of you that he wouldn't do himself. And a lot of times we have leaders in positions that ask things of us that they won't be willing to do themselves. A lot of times we have leaders that are not really leaders, they're more managers. And there's nothing wrong with managers. I mean, the title of what I do, what I hope you fall in love with, is called project management. But see, I would love to remix that and change that. I always said I would think I'm a project leader. You know why? Because when you look at the 12 principles on for project management, leadership is one of those 12 principles. And when you look at it, also is that effective leaders often possess strong management skills. And successful managers can also demonstrate inspiring leadership qualities. However, the ideal candidate or ideal scenario is that the individual will be able to navigate through both aspects, meaning leadership and management. And see, a lot of times we don't see that. What we see is that one is either all the way management or all the way leadership. So being able to have that balance. And again, this is through what I learned along the way. So let's unpack the first point. Master the art of persuasion. Now, when I say the art of persuasion, I am not talking about manipulation. I am not talking about misusing somebody. If you haven't understood that, what I say, there we all will be used, but there's a difference between being used and misused. Misused is someone taking advantage, someone basically using their power against you. Misuse is more or less of someone not reciprocating back the same thing they've asked of you. But used is really the exact opposite of saying, okay, you help me here, boom, I'm going to help you there. Oh man, you really looked out over there. All right, let me figure out what I can do for you over here. So it's always an even exchange, even though the exchange may not happen at that moment, but that person will remember you down the line when the opportunity presents itself. So I'm saying all of that, family, because I don't want anyone to get misconstrued. This very first point, which is so powerful, I wrote about it in this book here, the Magnetic Project Manager. That's how much I believe in the mastering the art of persuasion, because you have to be able to build a case around, watch this, family, facts and data, yet you still have to be able to appeal to the common values while you're establishing your credibility through these two powerful things, which is consistency and reliability. Those two things right there, which you could probably just almost are really saying the same thing: consistency and reliability, meaning that I can count on you. I know that if I fall down, you're there to catch me. There was a drill, there was an exercise that I know they used to do, and they would have it in team building exercises where it says, okay, cross your hands across you and fall backwards, and you hope that the person behind you will actually catch you, because now we're trying to develop trust. When it was so funny because I actually seen somebody walk away. Oh Lord Jesus, I could, and I couldn't believe that they did it. But what happened was, watch this, family. This gets good. This is really getting good to me because I love talking about leadership. I need to be doing more episodes around leadership. But what it was the person got distracted. Mm. How many times in life have we gotten distracted when we were supposed to be leading someone or leading a team? We got distracted by their comments. We got distracted by our own stories that we tell ourselves, because we tell ourselves a lot of stories based on information that someone has said about us, or what we've already thought that we wasn't valuable, and we were creating what we call imposter syndrome. Okay, I'll get off of this particular thing. Hey, family, real quick, I want to let you know my mentor. You have a chance to learn from my mentor that I'm still being mentored by a gentleman named Phil. Phil is having this Saturday and Sunday, which is, if you're watching it, hopefully if in month of February, February 24th and February 25th, which is a Saturday and Sunday, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will be hosting, if you are someone that has their PMP, really want to kind of just reignite some of the things you learned about the PMP. It's going to be 7 modules around the PMP. Just he's calling it a PMP graduate boot camp. I definitely think you should tap in and check that out. I'll pin the actual information to the top of the comments. All right, let's move on. Point number 2, build resilience. I kind of went back and forth with this when I was thinking about it. I was like, should it be about resilience or having thick skin? Because I truly believe that you have to have thick skin, which is almost the same thing as being resilient. And what I mean by that is saying that there's going to be decisions that you're going to have to make that people around you are not going to understand at that time as you're leading a project, or you're leading an effort. They're not going to understand it, but that's because they don't have all the information that you have. Or sometimes you have to make a decision based off the information you have, and move forward. And if something happens, you're going to have to figure out how to pivot. And can you deal with someone criticizing you for the decision that you made and still be able to move forward? That's why I say you're going to have thick skin when you jump in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. Because when you make a decision for the team and it doesn't pan out the way the team think it should, and they criticize you, can you accept it? And then when it does pan out the way that it should, can you accept that you may not be celebrated, you may not be congratulated, that you picked up the pieces? Can you have that type of mindset to be able to still move forward and still be grateful? Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be challenging, family. I wish it was easy, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing this thing called project management. Let's move on to point number 3. Discriminate, I said discriminate, demonstrate, excuse me, consistency and reliability. Again, demonstrate consistency and reliability. What does that mean? Having the ability to keep your promises, meet your commitments. If you said you were going to do something, do it. Don't get in between the middle. I'm trying my hardest not to go on my rant, but forget it. Let's go. So the difference, if you haven't seen it from previous videos, is the ability to be committed and not interested. What is the difference, ED? Because you're bringing up a good point. I know I'm dealing with an intelligent family here. So because I want to ensure that we get an understanding. Commitment looks like you've made a decision, not a choice, to move forward on the thing that you said you wanted to do. You said that you want to go after your CAPM, and now you booked you purchased the resources, and you created you a study plan, and now you're studying towards getting the CAPM. Interested looks like saying, hey, I want to go after my CAPM, and that's where you leave it. And you talk about it consistently, like, oh, I'm going to go after my CAPM, or I'm going to do this, and you don't do it. So there's a difference between being committed and being interested. Everybody is interested in something, but very few make the commitment that is required in order to move forward. I really like that. The reason why I like that, family, is because there's been a lot of things I've been interested in that I didn't complete. But the things that I was committed on, I actually followed through and I executed on. So I challenge you. Matter of fact, I push you to say if there was something that you were going after that said that's on your 2024 goal list, or whatever this particular item is, if it's the CAPM, if it's the PMP, if it's the ACP, or if it's the Google certification, I don't care what the thing is, that you make a commitment. Not today, not today. Matter of fact, I'll give you until tonight to think it over if you're watching this tonight. But in the morning when you wake up, you make that decision to say, I'm going to move forward with the thing that I said that I wanted to do. So it all ties back to being able to be consistent and reliable. And demonstrating that is having the ability to be committed and not interested, and to communicate openly about anything that changes along in the process. Let's move on to point number four. Point number four is promote transparency and trust. Promote transparency and trust. What does that mean? That means, hey, we need to have open and honest feedback here, and open dialogue without you thinking that I'm attacking you, and without you and me thinking you're attacking me. And sometimes that can be challenging, especially if you're the leader and you have to give tough feedback to one of your stakeholders. But you have to understand there's as my mom would say, there's a place and time for everything. So you doing it in public and around everyone, all the rest of the stakeholders, yes, you're embarrassing them. Yes, you're putting them on a defensive end. But if you set up a one-on-one with them, if you set up a call outside of your standard call and say, hey, I want to talk with you about some things, because you may find out that what the stakeholder is dealing with, it may be something personal that, oh, now that explains why it's affecting the person's work. So before you jump to conclusions, before you've already made the decision on what this person is and is not, that you need to have that conversation with them and be able to create a safe place where they can trust you. Because if they can't, if there's not a safe place where they can have open dialogue with you and say, hey, I didn't really appreciate how you were leading this project, as far as you made me feel uncomfortable here, and not take it as an attack and say, okay, I understand. Well, how do you think how I should have done that? See, that's the key question there. How do you think I should have done it? Doesn't mean that you're going to do it that way, but that gives you at least something to move forward with when you engage with this person again. Because if you don't do that and you do it the way that you create your own assumption, it's going to lead you down a bad path. Point number five: show appreciation and recognize efforts. Man, it's a lot of people always say, why do people leave organizations? And I'm gonna go and do some homework on that for you, family, because I've heard different cases. I've heard it's not because of money, it's because of my manager or my leader. Then I've heard, well, it's not because of my manager or leader, it's because of money. So I've heard different things, but I know truly, I don't care who you are and how long you've been in your career for, being able to be recognized and being appreciated, it really speaks volumes about that leader. It really speaks how that leader really genuinely cares about you and really want to see your success move forward. So having that ability as a leader to be able to be someone that says, you know what, listen, I see the work that you're doing here. I appreciate the work that you're doing here, and I need to find a way to ensure that not just me that recognizes that, I put that recognition out to everyone else so they know about what you're doing. Because a lot of times you'll see people, like, that's one of the things that I always want to make sure that I do is when I compliment a stakeholder or whatever, and I'm talking to their manager, I'm letting them know right away, hey, I want to, because a lot of times we always talk about the negative things, like all the negative, the negative tough conversations you have to have with someone's manager or stakeholder's manager, but we never talk about the conversations that we have that are enlightening, that are positive. So we need to also focus on that as well. Point number six: cultivate a positive work environment. Listen, you have to work on removing toxic people from around you. Now, let me clarify what a toxic person is, and this is subjective. So, since you're watching me, I'm going to give you my point of view. Toxic person doesn't mean that they have a different point of view than you. That's not toxic, in my opinion. Toxic to me is someone that is unwilling to collaborate, unwilling to help the team move forward, unwilling to do anything except what works for them. And when you're in that type of environment where it's more about belittling, it's more about trying to make you look bad instead of making you look good, then that is that's a in my again my opinion is in a toxic environment, and is an environment that you start seeing people be quiet. I remember there was a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the quote offhand, but it was talking about how when a leader came in, how his direct reports more or less stopped talking, stop providing their viewpoint, stop providing value, because it was like it's no one's paying attention to it anyway. So why should I even, say anything? What do you want us to do? And let's go out and do it. But that's not a type of environment you want to work in or be in, because now you can't be a blind spot to that particular leader, and they can't be a blind spot to you as well. Point number 7, practice strategic delegation. The key word is strategic. Because I know a lot of times people will push things off on you so fast. If you say, "Oh yeah, I'll collaborate with you, I'll help with you," and they'll be like, "Shoo," and they gone. You're like, "Okay, now you understood that I said collaborate. I didn't mean that I'm going to take over everything you're doing. That means we're going to work together." So, ensuring that you provide. Here's the easiest way to look at it: identify tasks that align with the team member's skill set, and then provide the necessary resources to support them to succeed. That's it. That's how, in a nutshell, that's it. Because you want to be able to provide them with an opportunity to be great, with an opportunity to be exceptional. The only way you can do that is ensuring that you collaborate with this person, that stakeholder, excuse me, and that you're providing all the support that they need to move forward. Point number 8, this right here, message. Develop active listening skills. Why do you need to develop active listening skills? You have to understand that as a leader, you sometimes I think that I remember when I was first getting excited about becoming a leader. Yeah, I'm gonna be in project man. I'm gonna be a leader, and I'm gonna tell them what to do, such and such. But that's not leadership. Leadership is having the ability to actively listen to what is being said to you, and then letting that person finish thoroughly without cutting them off, letting that person finish and getting out whatever is in them that they're frustrated about. Because a lot of times when you have these conversations, it's coming from a place of frustration. And when it comes from a place of frustration, you need to allow that person to vent instead of cutting them off right away and hearing them out. After you hear them out, then you have to go into another phase of saying, okay, if this we need to get to the root. We can't do the surface cleaning here, meaning the surface piece. We need to get to the root. What is this particular issue that is actually going on that is affecting you in this project? Once you get that, now we're able to collaborate. Here's some proposed solutions. How do you want to move forward? Again, family, being able to practice active listening is going to be key. All right, my two bonuses for you today is, you knew I was going to have growth mindset in here. Listen, family, you have to foster a growth mindset. You have to be able to know, okay, that we had a risk that came up, and now it was the issue. We need to attack it head on. What else other things that may come up that may have an impact to this project? What else is going on with our stakeholders? Do we have someone to support and back up if one of the stakeholders need to go on vacation? There's a lot of pieces that are always moving on a project, and your ability to have a growth mindset, believing not with a optimism that nothing would ever happen, but with an optimism or a growth mindset that if it does, you'll be able to react to it, or the who of the person that will be able to help you fix or resolve the problem. And my last and final bonus is being able to create a or foster a sense of community and belonging. Listen, every time I've been in an organization where they created that sense of community and belonging and making you feel part of the organization was amazing. Like you just, you go in there thinking like, this is my organization, I'm protecting it. And that's what more organizations, they want to create, but it's the people that they need to be able to create that particular organization. So by having the ability of creating an open space to allow that to actually happen, and you want it to happen um organically and genuinely. Like, you don't want to put people together that you already know that it's just going to go left. So you have to be able to develop that. And I've seen it where, when organizations move too fast and make the attempt to do it versus, all right, we're going to work on this department and we're going to create that sense of belonging. This is going to be the model, and then the next department. And then finally, once you get through the whole organization, it's just a replica, but we have to start at one place first. Family, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I just have my closing remarks. Here's three things I want you guys to remember. Number one, being able to have thick skin, or what we're saying, building resilience. Number two, mastering the art of persuasion. Again, persuasion is not manipulating, it's having the influence, being able to influence someone or influence your stakeholders to understand the importance of why we need to move forward in this project, or why we need something to happen, period. And the last and final piece is developing an active listening skill set. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. I'm out.